Hare Krishna. So welcome to harekrishnatemple morning Srīmad Bhāgavatam class, study of Srīmad Bhāgavatam. So our good fortune is that today we'll have an opportunity to look at a wonderful verse by Srila Prabhupada and discuss the purport. So we are on second chapter titled The Lord in the Heart and text number 23. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato chayam mudirayet. Please repeat. Before reciting the Srīmad Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one must offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Yogeshwaranam gatimahurantar Vahistrilokya pravanantaratmanam Na karmabhistam gatimapnuvanti Vidya tapo yoga samadhi bhajam Yogeshwaranam gatimahurantar Bahistrilokya pravanantaratmanam Na karmabhistam gatimapnuvanti Vidya tapo yoga samadhi bhajam Yogeshwaranam gatimahurantar Bahistrilokya pravanantaratmanam Na कर्मभिष्टं गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्या तपो योग समाधिभाजाम् प्रभुस योगेश्वराणां गतिमाहुरन्तः बहिस्त्रिलोक्या पवनान्तरात्मना न कर्मभिस्तां गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्या तपो योग समाधिभाजाम् योगेश्वराणां गतिमाहुरन्तः बहिस्त्रिलोक्या पवनान्तरात्मना न कर्मभिस्तां गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्या तपो योग समाधिभाजाम् योगेश्वराणां गतिमाहुरन्तः बहिस्त्रिलोक्या पवनान्तरात्मना
न कर्मभिस्तं गतिमापूर्णवन्ति विद्या तपो योग समाधिभाजाम्
योगेश्वराणां
गतिमाहुरन्तः
बहिस्त्रिलोक्यः पवनान्तरात्मना न कर्मभिस्तां गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्या तपो योग
समाधिभाजाम् योगेश्वराणां गतिमाहुरन्तः बहिस्त्रिलोक्या पवनान्तरात्मना न कर्मभिस्तां गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्या तपो योग समाधिभाजाम्
योगेश्वराणां गतिमाहुरन्तः बहिस्त्रिलोक्या पवनान्तरात्मना न कर्मभिस्तां गतिमाप्नुवन्ति विद्या तपो योग समाधिभाजाम्
Such a wonderful words. Yogeshwaranam gatimahuvanta Bahishtrilokia pravanantaratmanam Na karmabhistam gatimapnuvanti Vidya tapo yoga samadhibhajam. What to it? Yoga Ishwaranam. Of the great saints and devotees. Gatim, destination. Ahuhu, it is said. Antaha, within. Bahihi, without. Trilokyaha, of the three planetary systems. Pavana Antaha, within the air. Atmanam, of the subtle body. Na, never. Karma bihi, by fruitive activities. Tam, that. Gatim, speed. Apnuvanti, achieve. Vidya, devotional service. Tapaha, austerities. Yoga, mystic power. Samadhi, knowledge. Bhajam, of those who entertain. Translation by His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. The transcendentalists are concerned with the spiritual body as such, by the strength of their devotional service, austerities, mystic power, and transcendental knowledge. Their movements are unrestricted. Within and beyond the material worlds, the fruitive workers or the gross materialist can never move in such an unrestricted manner. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, please hear. The materialistic scientists endeavor to reach other planets by mechanical vehicles is only a futile attempt. One can, however, reach heavenly planets by virtuous activities, but one can never expect to go beyond Swarga or Janaloka by such mechanical or materialistic activities, either gross or subtle. The transcendentalists, who have nothing to do with the gross material body, can move anywhere within or beyond the material worlds. Within the material worlds, they move in the planetary systems of the Mahar, Janas, Tapas and Satyaloka, and beyond the material worlds, they can move in the Vaikuntha as unrestricted spacemen. Narad Muni is one of the examples of such spacemen, and Durvasa Muni is one of such mystics. By the strength of devotional service, austerities, mystic powers, and transcendental knowledge, everyone can move like Narada or Durvasa Muni. It is said that Durvasa Muni traveled throughout the entirety of material space and part of spiritual space within 1 year only. There, the speed of the transcendentalist can never be attained by the gross or subtle materialist. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamulam Shri Gurum Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhutair Mahadhir Yaimah Guru Vibhu Nirmaya Shete Yadamusha Purusha Bhumte Gunan Shodasha Shodashatmaka Solam Krisishta Bhagavan Vachamsi Me Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanagatam Katha Amritam Satatapibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Panthanam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam. Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Matajis. Last 1 week we have been hearing this chapter and the verses, the Lord in the heart. And I must express my gratitude to all the devotees who have been speaking on these verses. It has been really nice to get in-depth insights into how through various processes, in particularly here, we see how the mystic yogi through the yoga process tries to achieve perfection. And particularly the last 2 classes, by her grace, Rajadipika Mataji, and yesterday by Bhaume Mataji, in a nutshell, basically summarize this whole chapter in a very easily understandable way. And it gave also a clue to us that yes, this process is there, and it is a bona fide process. But in Kali Yuga, this process is very, very difficult to attain. Nonetheless, the end of the process is achieved simply by meditating, being absorbed, and chanting and hearing of the holy names of Lord Krishna. The process in Satyuga was of meditation, the Treta Yuga was of the yagnas, the Dwarpa Yuga was of elaborate temple worship, but in Kali Yuga, Tad Hari Kirtana, only by Kirtan and singing the glories of Supreme Lord Krishna, this is achieved. And we are very, very fortunate that our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada has emphasized on the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And when we actually very diligently every morning we sing Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandho Moi Savadhana Mate. So Bandho Moi Savadhana Mate. Savadhana Mate means with care and attention. So with care and attention, if we follow this process that Srila Prabhupada has given as much as possible, then we will find really the magic of the Mahamantra and how beautifully the Mahamantra works in our lives. This is just not a mere sentiment exercise. It is practical, and the results almost immediately we can experience if care and attention is there. But if we are not careful and attentive, and if we just work according to the dictation of our own mind without being surrendered to the words of Vaishnavas, Siksha Gurus and Gurus, then this process would be just like licking off the jar. And honey we won't be able to taste. But nonetheless, any participant of this movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will get the message eventually. As in marketing terms, they say, you have the funnel where you need to capture the wider audience as possible. So similarly, in devotional service also, we have many programs which has very wide funnel to capture all the souls who are wandering in this whole of Brahmanda Pramite Kauna Bhagyavan Jiva. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to make everyone Bhagyavan. Bhagyavan means the fortunate person. to give them the mercy of the spiritual master, original spiritual master, of course, being Krishna. And so when they come in contact with the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, they immediately can feel enlivened. Few weeks ago, one person had come and he participated in our Saturday evening program. And as soon as Aarti was over, after Prasadam, he approached me and he asked few questions. And then I could make out that he was quite disturbed. So I just, scratched a bit. And then he said, after 5 weeks, this is the only meal that I have had, which I have been able to retain. Otherwise, everything I ate, I would just throw up because I'm going through a very bad separation. And this is the only, when in the Aarti, I sang and I listened, I danced, and then I honored Prasadam. This is the only thing. And then he has been coming every week, and he's found solace. Because yes, this is the real thing. This is the solution to all problems. And when we look at, Srīmad Bhāgavatam, that yes, various other processes are there, but ultimately everything has to be tinged with love of Krishna to make that complete and perfect. Just by looking at the word to words here, we see Yoga Ishvaranam, the great saints and devotees, Gatim, destination. So this Gatim, destination, or Gatir, that Krishna is the ultimate goal and he is the ultimate destination, and all our endeavors have to be directed towards attaining that destination. And he is Antah Bahir. He is inside us and also he is outside us. Kunti Maharani very nicely, in her first prayer she says, please repeat. Jai Shri Radha Giri Govardhana Ki. Namasye Purusham Tvadyam. So, Namasye, I bow down before him who is Purusham. This is the Supreme Person, Tva Adyam. Adyam means the original. Namasye Purusham Tvadyam. Ishvaram Prakrite Param. And he is the supreme controller. We don't have control. Hardly we can even regulate our breathing in this day and age. But he can control everything. And Prakrite Param, he is transcendental to the material modes of Prakriti, Mother Nature. So, this word transcendental, Prabhupada uses many, many times. And someone who comes, when, devotees use this jargon, transcendental, what does it mean? Our Guru Maharaj explained very nicely. It means very transcend. Transcend means to go beyond. But go beyond what? Go beyond material nature, Prakriti. So, Kunti Maharani very nicely says, Ishvaram Prakrite Param. So he is untouched by the modes of passion, ignorance, and even sattva. He is in Shuddha sattva. So Indra, when he prays, he says, Vishuddha sattvam tavadham shantam. That you belong to the abode of Vishuddha sattvam, pure goodness, tavadham shantam. So she says that Alakshyam sarva bhutanam. But to all the living entities, you are invisible. Alakshyam. We cannot see you. Nonetheless, Antarbahiravastitam. You are situated inside and outside. Anta, bahir. So this devotional process is holistic and all what you can say is encompassing, because we relate to the Lord who is within us as Paramatma, and then also within other living entities as Paramatma. So we behave with everyone nicely. And also that the Supreme Lord is existing in His supreme opulence, mercy, love, in His supreme abode, Tavadhama Shantam, as Brajendra Nandan. And the devotees direct their devotion through the medium of Paramatma in their heart towards that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And in this way, here it is mentioned, na karma bhi, never karma bhi, by fruitive activities, tam, that gatim. We cannot attain that speed in devotional service by our mental speculation or by our endeavor. You know, I think Srīmad Bhāgavatam there is that pastime that Kalyavan, the demon, he was chasing Krishna. Kalyavan. He was chasing Krishna. And Krishna just appeared to be not even running, just walking, but he is running. And he tries to catch Krishna. He thinks he has got hold of Krishna, but Krishna remains far. How far? Just one length of hand. Just one length of hand. And so similarly, materialists can go on chasing after, Krishna like that. But Krishna won't come in that grip. Krishna is not accessible, although Krishna is within and without. So he is only accessible by love. No matter how our speed is. So Prabhupada here mentions of the, Narad Muni and Durvasa Muni. So interestingly, he mentions Narad Muni as the spaceman and Durvasa Muni as the mystic yogi. So I remember our, Guru Maharaj, when, it became certain that he would leave his mortal body. Then, few disciples, they became very overwhelmed, very emotional, and they were, crying in front of him. And our Guru Maharaj said that, look, this material body is an impediment. But when I'm free from this material body, then I'll be more accessible to you. And this is what a Vaishnava is, that he becomes accessible. When some of these verses in Srīmad Bhāgavatam we were meditating on, about 30 years ago, then I actually couldn't understand. Like one of the verses, Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi, about Shukadeva Goswami, that Shukadeva Goswami is a personality who can enter into the hearts of all living entities. Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi. So Sud Goswami does his Mangalacharan to his spiritual master Shukadeva Goswami in this way. As time goes on, we can see the great mystics that a perfect devotee exhibits. And yes, he has access to each and every corner of Krishna's creation, either in spiritual world or material world. Yes, they have access. This is what Trikaldarshi means also, that they have vision which is not impeded by material ability. It is transcendental. And they can really enter into the hearts of living entities. There's a verse in Srīmad Bhāgavatam, that yatha vatarato grahanam, as the chariot goes, and then the wind, it unsettles the dust, and then whatever the aroma of that dust is, yatha vatarato grahanam bhunjante gandha ashayat, that gandha through the air being unsettled by the wheels of the chariot, they enter the nose of whoever passes by. Similarly, evam yoga ratam cheta atmanam avikaryatat. So similarly, a devotee, yoga rata cheta, he is connected intimately with Krishna. As Sakyaraya Prabhu mentioned on Monday, that of all the yogis, the highest yogi is that one who abides in love and devotion in Krishna, the last verse of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmanam shraddhavan yo bhajate mam teme yukto tamamataha. Krishna says, this is the best who abides in me. So, evam yoga rata. So the devotee, because he is intimately connected with Krishna, then wherever he goes, like the chariot unsettles the dust, so similarly the devotee unsettles the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. And when he speaks, although the articulation of his voice is material, but it is fully potent with spiritual potency. Smriti punaha smriti tattvavartmani, then that which we had forgotten, our relationship with Krishna, through the words of that pure devotee, immediately it awakens our lost remembrance of Krishna. And immediately we can have access to Krishna through the mercy of the pure devotees. So all these facilities are there. Vidya, tapo, yoga, samadhi, bhajam. But we have to be very, very careful in our dealings with other living entities and also with each other. Now in Srīmad Bhāgavatam, there is a verse that how one should behave. So when we gunadikam mudam lipset, when someone is more qualified than us, when we meet them, then we should become joyful. Mudam means happy, joyful. Gunadikam mudam lipset. And then when we meet someone who is guna adhamat, meaning less than us, then we should be merciful to them. And when we meet someone who is equal to us, then we should have a friendship with them. But in the material world, what happens when someone is above us? Immediately, the envy pops in. Oh, why is he or she better? And when someone is less than us, then the tendency of exploiting comes in. Less than us, so we can exploit them. And someone who is in the same level, then spardha. Spardha means competition. Anything you can do, I can do better. That kind of tendency props in. And this will actually destroy our devotional service. So devotional service means basically we are very cognizant of this fact, anta bahir, that Krishna as Paramatma, which is inside, is also inside everyone else's heart. So who are we envying? We are acting in self-envy. As Durvasa Muni's names, although here has been mentioned, is a great mistake. Such a, powerful yogi. And of course, he is a devotee of the Lord as well. But he has his own proclivity and tendency of being short-tempered. So the Lord uses that to make certain points so that we can be careful. So the greatest mistake, so within 1 year he could travel to the whole of the material worlds and also Vaikuntha planets. Otherwise in material body, who can go to the Vaikuntha planets? But Durvasa Muni was able to. But nonetheless, was the Lord happy with him? He wasn't happy with Durvasa at all, because he had offended Amrish Maharaj, and he tried to use his yoga siddhi to destroy a devotee by creating a demon and ordering that demon to go and kill Amrish Maharaj. But immediately the Lord Sudarshan Chakra just came and vanquished the demon, and then went after Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was so powerful that he just went to Lord Brahma. The Lord Brahma said, one day I have to also die, and the Sudarshan Chakra is beyond my jurisdiction. He went to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva also said that I cannot save you. This weapon of the Lord is invincible. Then he went to the Vaikuntha planets, and Lord Narayana, he immediately, told him that yes, you have come here, but I am dependent on the will of my devotee. I am not independent. Through the love, the devotee has bound me in their hearts, and what to speak of the devotee, even the devotee of the devotee is very dear to me. I do not wish to enjoy my transcendental opulence without my devotee. So these devotees who have given up their house, their wives, their children, pranam vittam imam param, even their very lives, pranam, the devotees, desire to give up for sake of Krishna. So Lord Narayan says, katham stam tyaktum utsahe. How can I be enthusiastic to give up such devotees? If I forgive you, then that means I have taken your side and I have rejected Amrish Maharaj. So then Lord Narayan says to him that tapo vidya cha vipranam nishreyase kare ube. That certainly for a Brahmana, austerity, tapo, vidya, learning, nishraya kare ube are certainly auspicious. Te eva durvinitasya. But however, when they are employed by persons who are durvinitasya, who are not gentle, durvinitasya, Prabhupada translates that not gentle, kalpate, kartur anyatha, then that is most dangerous. So this quality of gentleness, we have to develop. And that means, that mercy, someone asked my Guru Maharaj, Maharaj, how, this person is troubling me, how many times, I, let it go and just forgive. So Maharaj replied, as how many times as you would like to be forgiven for your mistakes. That many times we have to, let go. And all this is only possible. It's not by just, sharing of the knowledge. No, when we really become connected with Krishna through the chanting of the holy names, then that's when the practicality of it will be possible. When Krishna is in our minds, in our hearts, in our actions, then we are full. I think Mataji quoted that verse yesterday. Samudra apaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantyam apnoti na kama kami. How does it start? Apuryamanam achalam pratishtham. So we have to be complete, saturated with love of Krishna, so much so that nothing else can unsettle us. So like the ocean, apuryamanam achalam pratishtham, apaha means the water, the rivers of all the waters, pravishanti tadvat, is entering the ocean. Sometimes so much rain comes and the water, so much water enters the ocean. But does the ocean unsettle? No. So similarly, just by reading and hearing motivational talks, this talk, that talk, oh, one should behave like this, one should behave like that, will make no difference. It will give us a guideline. But when push comes to shoves, if we ourselves are not fulfilled and nourished, then we will be disturbed. If at any slight provocation, we will become disturbed. But Amrish Maharaj, he was saturated with love of Krishna. So he wasn't disturbed. And he wasn't even asking for protection. He was just absorbed. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj says, Tadvirya gayana mahamrita magna chitta. I'm fully magna chitta, absorbed in singing the glories of Krishna. Therefore, full. And therefore, that person only can tolerate who is full. One who is not full, little things will bother them. So we have to remain full. So if someone is nudging us, then we should take it as, yes, Krishna is testing. And then we should also know, okay, I'm not filled, that's why I'm becoming agitated. See how test this Amrish Maharaj goes through. Prahlad Maharaj goes through, his own father trying to, harm him. So the Lord in the heart is there, and is in our heart. Santam Samipe, Pingala says. Santam Samipe, he is near and dear to heart. Ramanam Pratipadam, and he is the source of Ramanam, pleasure. I find when my rounds are not good, sometimes, the programs end late and we are not able to wake up in the morning. And I'm not able to finish the 16 rounds during the day. Then, by the evening, if it's not completed, then we can see, yes, disturbance comes. And then, even then, by the evening, we don't just, take the chanting somehow or the other and finish it. Then the next day, it just continues. The whole saga continues. So we have to become very, very savadhana, with care and attention, just not let that happen, and just do it. Because if we are not filled with chanting of holy names of the Lord, other things will creep in. It will invariably creep in, and it will disturb us, agitate us, and then we will respond and try to counteract, but we will make the situation worse. So here, actual freedom is given. The way to be freedom. So Krishna says in Srīmad Bhagavatam, verse 64 of 2nd chapter, Shri Radha Giri Govardhana ki Raga Dvesha Vimuktestu Vishayan indriyaischaram atma vashay vidheratma prasadam madhikachati. So raga dvesha vimuktestu. One who is vimukta, free from attachment and aversion. Both are bad. Attachment and aversion. Raga and dvesha. Vimuktestu. Vishayan indriyaischaram. And who can control their senses. Like when the Vishaya, the objects of sense gratification are in front, but they are able to control it and not become implicated in it. And that Krishna says, Atma Vashair Vidher Atma is achieved by regulative principles of freedom. Very nicely, Prabhupada has translated and explained these words. Regulated principles of freedom. So freedom, which is regulated. Someone said many years, oh, you're not free to smoke, not free to drink. Saying, I'm free not to smoke, I'm free not to drink, but you are free not to smoke. You are addicted. Yeah. So, at first, that regulation is required. For example, children don't want to go to school. They think, where is my freedom? You're forcing me to go to school. But we know that if they go to school, stay regulated in their studies, then they can get a better job, better money, and with that better money, they'll become free. Freedom is there. But if they don't become regulated and don't become free, then they'll become entangled and burdened. They don't have that freedom. So there's a concept of financial freedom. That if one is financially free, then they are able to, live life as they want. But then to able to achieve that, discipline and regulation is required at first. So similarly, in spiritual life also, to achieve that freedom, regulation is required. And what extent freedom? Here it is very nicely mentioned that such devotees are free to travel anywhere and everywhere. So, all the planets they can have access to. Just by Prabhupada in the paper says that by virtuous activities, he calls devotional service here virtual activities, the devotee is free to travel. And so this freedom actually really is given in Krishna consciousness when one matures in devotion. Yes, one becomes more able, more empowered, and has more power to do things. Freedom to forgive, freedom to expand, freedom to move about, and this freedom, when others also come in their wing, then they also become free. Only a devotee can free. Lord Krishna in the Damodar pastime, we see that he is bound by Mother Yashoda, but nonetheless he frees the two cursed tree, Nalkuver and Manigiri, Yamalarjuna tree. But devotee is bound by Krishna, and because he is bound by Krishna, the devotee is able to free. I'll end up with this, this song, at our home when we were little. Our mother used to, bhajans used to play in the mornings, and Harekrishna Mahamantra, and then some Gujarati bhajans. And this bhajan was there on this pastime of Durvasa Muni and Amrish Maharaj. As much I can remember, where the Lord says, Prana Priya Mane Vaishnavala, Agnish Teni Gaure, Jap Tap Tirat Vaikunta Padamukhi, Bhakta Bulave Tajaure. That the devotee is more dear to me than my own life. And I sing their glories. And Japa Tapa Tirat Vaikunta Pada. I leave all these places, Bhakta Bulave Tanjavure. And when devotee calls me, I leave all these places and I go. So, where is Lord residing? Narada asked, and Lord replied, Naham Vasami Vaikunte Yoginam Hidame Chame Yatra Tishthanina Arada Tatra Gayanti Madbhakta. Wherever my devotee sings my glories, I am there. Harihi Sada Vaset Tatra Yatra Bhagavata Jana Gayanti Bhakti Bhavena Hare Nameva Kevalam. Where with love and devotion the devotee sings the glories, that's where the Lord is actually present. Ambrish Raja Mani Ati Ghanuvalo Durvasaya Manubham Kiture.
How does that bhajan start?
Prana Priya Mane Vaishnava.
That's how it starts.
Yeah. Ati Ghanuvalo Durvasaya Manubham Kiture. Memaru Abhimana Tajine Chakra Sudarshan Vadi Lidure. So Chakra Sudarshan is the weapon of Lord Krishna, Narayana. So when that weapon goes, it is invincible, meaning whatever the target is, it will hit the target, kill it, and then come back. But in this case, that Sudarshan Chakra failed. So the reputation of Lord goes. But the Lord said, so this is Lord's abhimana, that no, my weapon will never fail. Sudarshan Chakra will never fail. But Amrish Maharaj prayed to Sudarshan Chakra to spare Durvasa Muni, and the Sudarshan Chakra did not hit the target, and just the Lord accepted the Sudarshan Chakra back without it hitting the target. Why? Because the devotee is more dear to the Lord than the Lord's own reputation and the Lord's own will. Bhakta chaleta hu agad chalu, Bhakta soveta hu jagure. Je mara bhakta ni ninda kare, teni jilva sadaiva kapure. When the devotee walks, I walk in front of him, guiding him. When the devotee sleeps, I am awake, protecting the devotee. Whoever criticizes my devotee, I cut their tongue. Do you remember? This one, yeah. Ubho bhogayatya nachure, Vaishnava janti hu parnanti ago. So when the devotee sits and sings, then I stand up in here. When he stands up and sings, then I dance. And Vaishnava Janti hu Parnati, I'm not separate from my devotees, Vaishnava. And Nashimata, the great saint, he sings this, so it says that this is the truth. Bhane Narshayo Sachure. And another stanza is there. Mara re bandha Vaishnava chute, Vaishnava bandha me nava chute re. Ek bar Vaishnav mujhne bandhe to bandham me nava chute re. That I cannot bind my devotees, but my devotees can bind me. And once my devotees binds me, that bondage never breaks. So this is the freedom of devotees. They even bind the Lord. And they become truly free in that sense. And the Lord dances at the tune of the devotees. Not that the devotees want to make the Lord dance, but the Lord becomes helpless because of the love the devotee has for him. Therefore, what is the most valuable thing? Most valuable thing is love of Krishna. And if in that thing, if some small thing comes which takes our mind away from, so that thing is just to be discarded. What's his name? Rasamandal has very nice tagline. What is it? Idox malye, kaam pe lage.
Idox malye, kaam pe chaliye.
Idox malye, kaam pe chaliye. So it's such nice. Yes. Let it be. Just work towards Krishna. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Yeah, nothing else should matter. Any questions, comments?
Prabhu, it said that once you go to the 4-9, Jatkatwana, and I worked with the Dhamma Paramam, so how could Dalvasa then, once he went to Vaikuntha, then why did he like to come back? Because the reason, one of the reasons which I've heard, is that once you've experienced the material life, then when you go back to the spiritual world, you'll spit at you won't even think about the material life. So how could then Durvasa Muni come back again to the material world?
Yes. So, Radha Govind Maharaj, in this past times when he explains, he glorifies Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is a very, very elevated being. Although he caused this offense, but Durvasa Muni, after he goes back to Amrish Maharaj, he spreads the glories of Amrish Maharaj. So the devotee, is very, very keen to spread the glories of other devotees. And therefore, although Durvasa Muni is a villain of this pastime, but he, in a way, he becomes the hero as well, because he cannot help but glorify Amrish Maharaj. So devotees, only reason they come to this material world to do work for Krishna, their missionary work, and to glorify other devotees. Radha Govind Maharaj explained it like that. Yeah.
Also one comment, Bhurijan Prabhu writes in his book, Japa, that it's basically relating to this verse, it's not relating to this verse, but it's somehow matching. He says that, a materialist can say, I can fly anywhere, I can fly in a plane, I can go travel anywhere in rockets here and there and all that. But then he explains that, when you take an inverted cup, our world is like an inverted cup. A fly can just go around, even though the cup is big, a fly can just go around in that cup. It doesn't know what's beyond that cup. So the material world is like that cup. So if some materialist says that, I can travel anywhere, but you are still within that cup. You cannot go outside.
Yeah.
So.
Now, in my personal case, I asked question to my Guru Maharaj, especially when we knew of his impending departure, that Maharaj, how can I always be with you? And he said that as long as you are with Srimad Bhagavatam, you will always be with me. So, and I have experienced that as well. Like when we are with Srimad Bhagavatam, then I don't feel his absence. He's there, alive. So yes, that a devotee really is free to be accessible. That's a good thing, that the spiritual master is always accessible to the sincere and submissive disciple. He never goes away. And many disciples, of Srila Prabhupada have experienced, Kadam Kanan Maharaj have experienced, many spiritual masters, Krishna Maharaj, they have experienced that. So today is an important day. We have Shalki Mataji and Sri Radha Thakurani Mataji, and Sarul, Subodh Prabhu, their legal marriage, so will be happening. So please bless them. Our Guru Maharaj, said, Swadharma nirato yastu, that when you follow your Swadharma of Grahastha, but Hari Bhakti Rati Sada, have Krishna in the center of the Grahastha life, and in that way, Sarvendriya Upashanta, the senses are engaged in devotional service and control. Then Tushyati Asu Janardana, very quickly you are able to satisfy Krishna. So let's chant Hare Krishna as prayer. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.